Hello, folks. We are here once again. Unfortunately, during the play for yesterday's episode, there was an unfortunate catastrophic failure. The power went out over the Great Freeze in the Chicagoland area. The ice storm hit with its ferocity, causing me to lose power. I was one of the many in my area out of power from midpoint of our episode until a few hours ago. Unfortunately, what that means and what that meant is that the already in process recording that was paused for a small break for stepping away was corrupted in the catastrophic failure of power due to the ice storm. The episode was Situating Trivets against Nestled Disposings. It was our 5th episode when the coterie were rectifying and attempting to dig out from underneath the onslaught of enemies. That's where they usually are in one shape, fashion, or form. Unfortunately, all of the great play and in the moment emotions that were welled up is unfortunately lost. And yes, the number of unfortunates said not adding each instance, not multiplying the instances, but exponentially expanding upon the unfortunate circumstances. The episode, we had roughly reached our midpoint. Hestia, Miriam, Lucio, and Lolly had managed to get the detective from inside the haven itself down through the second floor and out into the garage. In the process of doing so, just as everything was moving in that direction, as they exited into the garage connected to the haven, Miriam had made a call, a status update to Mr. Gabriel, quickly redepositing the phone where it's hidden amongst the ruins and wreckage throughout the haven. Exiting into the garage, all of the coterie members, accustomed to the world of the supernatural and things that exist invisibly just out of reach, were wary. They were on their guard for an attack. And sure enough, the Nosferatu was still remaining there, mostly invisible and unnoticed, out of sight, out of mind, or so it thought, chose to attack them. In the midst of the attack, Lucio interrupted the Nosferatu's actions. He used the dread arms of airmen coated in the stigmata he suffers with. Miriam threw a pebble, and Lolly, shocked into near catatonia, watched as everything unfolded. In the midst of that, Hestia circled wide to attempt to flank the charging Nosferatu. And as they were successful in stopping the attack, Lucio was struck with the full burden of what it means being the essence of darkness that runs through his vitae, being the dark mirror to this world that runs through his blood. And all of the remorse came due as he sank fangs into this monster, believing that it was just as pitiable and pitiful as it seemed. As his fangs broke the surface of the monster's skin, of the Nosferatu's flesh, he realized in the tasting, in the gourmandizing of its vitae, that it considered itself on a holy mission to rout and remove monsters such as they are, the Shelter, and every other kindred. In the midst of interrogating the Nosferatu, Hestia, welled up with her own semblances of guilt, put it out of everyone's misery by nearly completely decapitating it. Her aim, true, She severed its spinal column. Its head flopped against its chest like a reverse opening Pez dispenser, drawing the matter to a close. Shocked, Lucio unable to really address that, choosing now to not be the time where they fell apart in argumentation and debate, proceeded to attempt moving back to the hospital gurney that the detective was strapped down to, while Miriam attempted to make sure that they were stable. Lolly, having realized where she was, realizing what she had been enmeshed with, chose that moment to seek escape. Her attempts to help the coterie clearly above her pay grade, clearly above anything that she had dealt with thus far. At which point we took a small break to absorb the first portion of play and move into the denouement of the particular episode. Unfortunately, Mother Nature and the world in which we inhabit and live had other plans. The ice storm shut down the power for not just my house, but the entirety of the cul-de-sac near me. And, well, the file was corrupted in that doing. So when we once more begin playing with transpositioning obscurity, we'll also be completing the last portion of Situating Trivets against Nestled Disposings, the coterie on the second floor, the second story of the parking garage connected with the Haven, attempting to get the detective in their care back to his associates and escape the scene. What troubles will abound is anyone's guess. What decisions they'll make, whether they'll split focus, is anyone's guess. It is a wide, wild, open field of options and opportunities, and we look forward to seeing what, if anything, they do. Thank you for all of your time. This has been Nobody, the storyteller for Soup City Sins, In the Shadow of the White City, Steel Hearts, Rusted Souls, The Brew, and City of Forgotten Care, along with the play-by-post, The Coast After Dark, Washed Away, and several others. Thank you all. Good night.